Hey everyone, it's me Joe and I'm doing a remodeled version of one of my old videos. One of the most popular videos I've done on my channel so far has been my step-by-step guide on what I do in my work with gender, and that's to kind of give the illusion that you are kind of changing your face shape to look like the opposite gender. So I'm going to do male to female, but if you just apply this to the opposite, whatever I'm doing, do the opposite of, and then you'll get the opposite result. But basically I've taken a lot of my videos down. The lights were really bad because now I understand how to light my face as I look in real life, and I'm not blinded like I'm standing next to the sun, and I'm not looking like a horse in shadow. It's very upsetting sometimes to look back and think, oh well, I did such a good job, but it didn't show right on camera, or the effect wasn't right because the camera didn't show me correctly, or I don't know, and it's doubly, it just stresses me out so much because I'm working so much as a makeup artist, and I go to shoots now and they're like, oh girl, we wanted to show them some of your work, so we showed them your portfolio on YouTube, and I'm like, why did you do this? Please stop. Please. I just can't bear it. I find it so stressful. So it just stresses me out. So I'm redoing this one today and I hope you like it. So my first facial feminization technique, and this is just something I've learned from watching facial feminization surgery and also looking at my friends who've transitioned in the last couple of years and noting how their face shapes are changing through hormones, and also what they aspire to look like with surgery, or examples of people that have had surgery. And one of the things that's very different in male and female faces is the length of everything. And this is also paired with the fact that guys tend to have a buildup of testosterone as they grow up, and that's essentially what causes balding in guys. Now, guys' face shapes are traditionally longer anyway because the kind of shapes develop a little bit more if you're a guy, but also paired with the fact that our hairlines start going, it just gives the illusion that our faces are much bigger. So I can't do the technique that I wanted to show you today because my hair's too light. It would only work for me if I had roots. But what you would do is you would go in with a kind of eyeshadow that matches your hair colour. So if you have pink hair like me, not that you might, I don't know. But then you colour this whole area in softly pink. Then you blend out the edges lightly, and then once you blend out the edges, you go in with a tiny angled brush, and just like I draw on my eyebrows, I draw with concealer, hair by hair, until the effect looks real. And I've done this in so many tutorials. I wish I had dark enough hair to show you today, but I don't, so I have an alternative method. So, because my hair's so light, I can't really draw much in, but what I can do is I can actually use hair. So this is an old weft, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut this slightly. So I've got some loose hair. Now I'm just going to take it like this because I'm going to use this in my hairstyle right now. So setting that to one side and keeping it kind of in formation, I'm going to be using glue by Ilo, which is like a latex glue. You can get hair weft glue. I would use it in the colour of your hair because this will blend easier. Then just shuffling your hair, I'm going to just pull it up slightly so it looks more realistic. I'm going to start laying this over the glue like so. And again, I would recommend pulling it just a little bit up so it looks more like a natural hairline that starts in different places. I'm then going to just layer that again. And then if you've brought it down too far, you can just go in the edges and just trim everything off. So I would recommend doing 2 at the very least of this. It's not very effective with just 1. But once you have it in place and you're happy it's going to dry, spray that in place. I'm taking a little bit of grey eyeshadow and I'm just bringing that through this area to make sure everything's just sticking in the right place. So I'm using a little bit of grey eyeshadow, it's just a colour by MAC, just to kind of blend the hairline in a little bit. So here we go, you just need to wait for this to dry, and to remove it we can either use Spirit Gum Remover or we can just peel it off lightly with a wet finger. It's very simple to do. The next stage on my facial feminization list is shaving. Now I have a problem with shaving because my facial hair grows back quite fast. So I try and get the closest shave as possible, and what I tend to do is I use conditioner, and I use the Head & Shoulders conditioner as a shaving balm, because many actual formulations of shaving balm were based on conditioners. It's about the silicone quantity, and I think that protects the skin but allows the razor to get in real close. Like silicone is great, and Head & Shoulders conditioners are packed full of silicone. So they're really great for shaving, and if you use one that's quite mild, it won't be too harsh on your skin. It's developed for the skin anyway, so it won't be damaging at all, but some people might be a little bit more sensitive to the menthol ones. So just get the ones that are a little bit milder, but they work brilliantly. I also use a 5-blade razor, and I can't remember, I think it's called Wilkinson's Sword, and I use that to go in closely. And what I do is I shave, let me just pretend this is a razor. I'll pretend my eyelash colour is a razor. I will lather up, I will exfoliate with a muslin cloth, I will then apply against the grain conditioner, and then I will go down and wash down, wash down, wash down until I've got very little there. Then I go back in with the muslin cloth and then in with the conditioner again, and then we go against the grain, because once we've got the hairs in the right order and they're all in a straight line, they won't catch onto the skin, forming ingrown hairs. I very rarely get ingrown hairs in my beard area. If I do, it's quite easily fixable. You just put on a little bit of tea tree. But it's very easy to do, and the best kind of razor for this is one with as many blades as possible. So I'm going to be right back and show you after I've shaved. So I've zoomed in now because the next thing I want to talk about is actually skin and skincare, because the most important thing for me is getting the skin right. You can do the most dramatic makeup, and I've been saying this since I started YouTube, and you can do the most elaborate eye looks that look very detailed, but if you look like your face is made of sandpaper, there's absolutely nothing fabulous about it. To me, that's what destroys a good makeup, bad skincare, because the skincare is what changes the finesse of the makeup. If you have good skin, then it doesn't matter how detailed your makeup is, it will make everything look right. And there's a difference between clear skin and good skin, because you can have clear skin that's a really horrible texture, that's really sallow, that doesn't look soft, that when you put makeup on it looks rough. And guys traditionally have more rougher skin because we use abrasive things on it like the razors, and also because guys don't tend to use skincare. So a lot of the time it's about developing your skincare so it suits your skin to the best of your possible abilities. So I've decided to change my skincare at the moment. I've decided to go more into the anti-aging than the anti-acne, because I don't get acne anymore, but I want to prepare my skin for getting older. So double up the SPF as high as you can go, but at the general kind of night and day creams, I've actually got sent these products by Arbonne, and I've fallen in love with them. They're really lovely and really nourishing. They're the FC5 range, and I use the night cream and the day cream. So once you have a good skincare regime, your skin will start looking softer, and that's an effeminizing quality. So apply your moisturizer, and you really don't need a lot. Basically, moisturizers pull water out of the atmosphere and trap water under the skin. They also have active ingredients in, but most of the time the primary thing they do is trap water. So as long as you've got water and your skin's slightly damp before you apply moisturiser, you'll get the benefits. So the next thing is about the foundation, the contouring and the highlighting, the actual makeup side of things, because now we've talked about the basics and the shapes, now we're going to go into detail. So this is going to be quite a long video, I think, but it should be worth it. I also use Vaseline on my lips, so I should point that out because I'm going to do the lips next. So I get asked all the time, why do you overdraw your lip line? And I don't overdraw my lip line in the sense that I want to make my lips look bigger, because I don't take it outside where my lip projects. So you can probably see if I push it back, because the lights blur out all the shadows, but my lips stick out to about here. I just colour in everything that sticks out. I don't take it up to here, I don't take it out to here. I don't wear clown-like lip liner. It's very hard to see because the lights take out the shadows, but what I want to do is I actually want to make my lips look less wide and taller. So I use a lip liner, and what I do is I stick to my natural shape, and you can probably see if I push my lip up here, my natural shape goes all the way up to here. So as long as it's within that, it will be fine. But what we're doing is we're shortening the gap between the nose and the lips. So you can do this in any colour, but I'm using this gorgeous lip pencil by, I think it's by number 7, and it's the beigey one. And I'm just using this to really kind of add a little bit of colour to the lips. So you can probably see it's about making the lips look taller, not about making them look bigger, because I'm actually taking them in from the outside. So now let's go in with the base, and I'm going to talk to you about the contour and the highlighting. So I think the easiest way is to find the foundation that works best for you, and this is a trial and error thing. I like Double Wear, I like MAC Studio Fix on me. You guys may not. It's just about adventuring out there and finding what's best for you. Just get the coverage right in the areas you need it. So for me, what I do is I take a peach tone and I use a concealer by Dermablend. Very similar to MAC Studio Finish, but it stays a little bit more, so it's a little bit better for me. So I'm taking this peach colour, and in the sallow areas, I'm just going to cover, conceal, and then go into the beard area that may look blue. For the nose, I think a lot of people think a smaller nose is more feminine, but it's really not. It's about the proportion of the nose. There are many women out there with big noses, and there are many men out there with small noses. It's about getting the proportion right, and traditionally, it's about the bridging here. A lot of people, a lot of guys' faces actually have a ridging here, and when you're identifying a body, when it's like in the remains, or like the morticians, whatever they're called, they look at the skulls and they look at the ridging on the back and the front of the head, and one of the techniques they use to actually facially feminize someone who's transitioning is to actually shave their brow bone down flat. I don't actually have much of a brow bone to begin with, so I'm quite lucky, but what this does is you basically want to kind of remove the shadow here, because I think on a lot of guys it looks more like this. So we use a highlight, and I'm using a white. You would use this tone that's paler than your actual skin tone. And you just kind of want to go through here in a kind of dome-like shape, just to kind of get rid of that overhanging brow. It kind of tricks the eye into thinking this area is all bright. I've just been adding some accents of white, because we're going to blend out from there in a second. So we're bringing the cheekbones forwards a little bit, just to kind of highlight this area a little bit. And I always put a little bit of highlight against the nose because we have a little bit of sallowness there. So the nose, this is a bit of a difficult one because everyone's nose is different. I like to use the highlight from the kind of area down here, because what this does is it pulls the nose in without contouring it. I'm using this to highlight the brow bone and shorten my brows. Finally, for highlighting, there's an area in guys' faces that I like to call the W zone, and this is the area under the lip. In guys' faces, they tend to have shadow in a kind of W shape here. And I always put highlight there just to kind of bounce it away. Now, I like to do this for a natural look. I kind of take the colour of a natural tan with that person. So for me, I go for a more tanny kind of pinky tone. And I like to just stroke a kind of angles here. Now, I don't really take it further forwards than the eyes start, so it's all about that. And I'm going to just gently go around the hairline that we've kind of mapped in already. So then what I do is I actually go onto the jawbone and I take it down the sides of the neck slightly, because I like a skinnier neck. Just like so. But what I do not take, and this is something I've learnt recently, I do not take any kind of shadow under here because I think it makes the face look more stiff or more harsh. I think it looks harsher. If you leave this kind of the same colour as your neck, it kind of almost looks softer because there's no contrast. So it works for me. Right now I'm going to grab my foundation and I'm using Double Wear by Estee Lauder. And I've mixed in a little bit of an Illamasqua product with Skin Base to lighten it up a little bit. So it's a little bit thinner than Double Wear normally is. And it's actually light enough to match. So then what I do is I just brush over everything slightly. So here we go. Buff this in and make the foundation as sheer as possible because I really don't like the look of heavy foundation. So I still want to be able to see like a little bit of freckles through. I want all the foundation and concealer to blend into one product and just to really kind of take away the harshness of it all. When I get to the nose contour, instead of adding a dark shadow down each side, I use my actual natural skin tone against the white. When we're choosing a powder, which is essential to set this, I would get one that sets it enough to last but isn't too powdery looking. So I use a mixture of Ben Nye, which is their transparent set powder, and actually one of my assistants on a shoot I did gave me that one, which is really sweet. I start gently just pressing this into the face. Now to give the skin a little bit more texture and to make the kind of blending of everything, as I tip my head down, you can probably see the blend looks a little bit more cleaner than when I lift back because the shadow's casted there. I use a product by Vivo. It's a bronzer with some satin metallic to it. So what I do is I get one of my bigger brushes. So just swirl this into the cheeks a little bit, onto the nose. I'm actually going to just be taking a colour from my MAC palette, just a neutral kind of brown, just to kind of enhance the arch towards the outside. I just want it to be a little bit more defined. Now, if you want to use some sort of mascara product to blacken the lashes, that would be great. I'm going to be using Scandalise by Rimmel, which is brand new. I got this the other day. And here is the finished look. So that was kind of an easy way to make the face more feminine looking. I really hope you guys like that one. I will show you a final look that I've done just in the extreme at the end with more makeup on, and subscribe to me if you're new. I really hope that helped, and stay watching.